Welcome to OUTTAKE ESL, your ambassador of American exceptionalism in the East beyond the West. Yes, it's Sean, and I'm here with OUTTAKE ESL. I want to do a presentation with you I did recently on road safety. This is for a grade 7 class, and it followed as a companion to a lesson on directions. Since it's road safety as a rural program, I might do a board game or something along those lines. Kind of stress the idea of rules. And we start out with rules, and I kind of just want to give them imperative forms of rules here, such as stop before crossing the road. Do's and don'ts, also a good time to introduce those imperatives. And we go through different ones of these. Usually they're pretty good at getting them. Start to introduce maybe some new language in here. Run to the street, walk between cars, prepositions they should be familiar with. This one's a double slide. Crosswalk, you might want to double check that. Some people, it's pretty familiar vocabulary there. And this one was a little bit different, backing up, cars backing up, so there's kind of some new vocabulary there. We get into some traffic signs, very important aspect of road safety. You have the yield sign, the merge sign, and the detour sign. All kind of very important signs that are not so familiar here in China, where I taught this lesson. So I put a stress on those, and then we just go through different signs here before we get to an activity. No parking, flag man, giving points, rewarding points for correct answers. Go. Slippery road until we get to this activity here. And here I just go through it, kind of review. You can use this also as a review. 2 teams, tell me a sign. What sign? Okay, the detour sign, 4 points. Familiar slide. I used it in the directions, so they're familiar with it. And here the point is not to get the, where is it? Not to get the accident sign. Okay. And all right, moving on. No, that's taking me to the wrong place. Let's go back here. And when you eventually get this one, this kind of advances you in the program. This is kind of the second part of the lesson. Usually I'll have to introduce it. I start to introduce the idea of modals. Very important when you're talking about rules. You want to talk about advice. You want to talk about necessity, what is prohibited, what you can and cannot do. Modals are words that come before a verb and give the verb a new meaning. Here I use the Chinese because I'm talking about things that are maybe a little more complex. So I use the Chinese here. 7th grade, they're certainly starting to understand basic conversations. I give them what modals can do. They can change it to mean ability, can or advice, should or should not, need, possibility. Give them some examples here. A lot of this I based on the ESL library's lesson plan, but not all of it. Just some of the ideas, some of the examples. And here I want to stress where it's placed, because in this we have been talking about how adverbs can change, but here I want to stress that modals cannot be moved around in a sentence. So I use I can, where's the modal? Can, where's the verb? Play the guitar. And I just kind of practice that here. For advice, you should, modal, verb. For need, where's the modal? Must, good. Where's the verb? Take. And lastly, they might not come. And here you want to stress that the negative, the modal gets negated here when using modals, not the verb. So an example, should not or cannot. And then I move on this slide, and I give them a bunch of modals, and I say which ones mean you don't have a choice, because we're kind of trying to focus in on rules, what's prohibited, what you can or cannot do, due to rules. And here we got, go around the class rounds, go around the class, see what they have to say. Must, have to, and need to mean you have no choice. And then I do the opposite, which would mean you have a choice, should, shouldn't, don't need to. And then for more practice with that placement, we do some more sentence scrambles, just using those modals. Drivers need to stop ahead. That's crosswalk, pedestrian, turn, we need to review them. U, oncoming traffic. U-turn. Park here, slow down. And then we get to this. This is kind of based on that superhero. I have a game that I came up with called the Ability Wars, and I kind of use it here. This time I'm using about to say the rules of the road. So I have one team be have to and one team don't have to. And I say, give me a rule. So the have to say, you have to draw a picture, and the don't have to say, you don't have to play guitar. So let's see here. This one I had a little bit of trouble with. So draw a picture, okay. So that's one for the have to, play guitar. I think I got it. Oh, so don't have to. The idea is to get the best of 5, so you have to get 3. You have to cook. Uh-oh, 2 for don't have to. You have to play computer games. 2, you have to sing. All right, so 1, 2, 3. The winner would be have to, and then we get to either roll the dice or get the points. And that's kind of the activity I do here. Get some talking, do some different variations, act, paint, build, teach, sell, fix. And the final test is kind of something I did with another class that I did on vehicles. It's something I came up with called the ESL road test, and I use this in my presentation on cars. And usually what I would actually make laminated little driver's license with the name of the school or the name of the company I'm working for. What you do is you go through them, explain to them what they have to do is come up with the rule. What can a driver do? So here, an example would be a driver can rest in 2 miles. So I give them a prompt, and I give them a sheet with 10, or I tell them to take out a piece of paper and write 1 through 10. And they have to write down the 10 rules as I present them to them. So for example here, what does a driver have to do? So a driver has to slow down to 35 for the curve would be the correct rule. So what I do is I go through the 10 rules that I'm looking for here. What does a driver have to do? And then we go over them for the license here. We laminate these licenses. Driver's license out for them, and then we go through them. What does a driver have to do? A driver has to slow down to 35 for the curve. Who got it right? Who got it right? Well, here I have them exchange papers. I have everybody exchange. After we get to this point, you have everybody exchange their papers, and you go through them one by one in this class. The driver must merge into the left lane. Mark it wrong, mark it wrong, mark it wrong. Then at the end of the class, to award the driver's license, you have everybody say, all right, who got 10? Anybody got 10? And you go around and you award the the driver's license to those students. And that's my lesson on road safety. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, if you liked it, please click like and subscribe. I appreciate the support, and we'll check you out next time. OUTTAKE ESL.